Good morning. Joining us today, celebrity farmer Jimmy Doherty plus Brit nominee Rumer. There they are. They're here for some Sunday lunch and preview clips of next week's telly. It's something for the weekend. Oh dear. And you can catch the last part. It's nerve-wracking. Last part of the current series of Not Going Out on Thursday evening at 9:30 on BBC One. Now, our first guest was first discovered back in 2005, gigging in a club in London. Since then, she's been rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous, playing for Burt Bacharach, performing with Sir Elton John, and even staying with Carly Simon in LA. And now she's going to be doing her first show like this.
With us.
With us.
Brave.
But she plays songs like this. Welcome to the show, Rumer. Blimey, you sound like Karen Carpenter. We've got loads of tweets in here, actually. I'm going to start with this from Chris Wyatt. What do you think of all the Karen Carpenter comparisons with yourself? And Russ Burke, she says, do you ever get fed up with being compared to Karen Carpenter, or is it a compliment? That's the thing that every time you get interviewed, why I went straight in there is Karen Carpenter.
Well, I think it's nice. I like talking about her because she's one of my favourite singers, so I think it's great to let everyone talk about Karen Carpenter, get out the old records.
All the people you could be compared to be compared to a woman that was purely about a voice.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I know that the songs that they wrote were amazing, but vocally she was, you know, for me, and actually watching you, you've gone back to basics. It's about singing, it's about melody, really simple, beautiful harmonies. And I don't think there's enough people doing that anymore. So I think you're bringing something new to a younger generation, actually.
I think it's interesting as well, someone pointed out to me, although it's a little bit sombre, that she died at 31 and I'm 31 now, which is quite tragic when you think about how much she achieved in her short life.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, I'm kind of, I don't know, I feel there's something about that I think it's quite significant. But yeah, she's amazing. She's someone I really love being compared with.
In the interviews I've read about you, and I heard you on the radio talk about this as well, you talk about your dictions, the same as Karen Carpenter. Now, Louise knows what that means. I have no idea
my
what
diction.
that means. When you're,
my brother will be laughing now. He said, just, you know, he loves it when I talk about my diction.
When you're what does that mean?
Yeah, well, you know, to express the words, you know, so that you can hear the words, basically.
They've all got an ending, so, you know, you don't drop any sounds
so
in your vowels, and everything is well pronounced.
And
so
that's what she does.
You can hear if you listen really closely, you can hear the page turn. It's beautiful, you know. The recordings, the Carpenter's recordings are so beautiful, and you can hear everything. You can hear a pin drop. So I like that. I like the I like people hearing the actual words. That's what the singer's job is, to sing a song.
I totally agree with you. I grew up listening to Carpenters, and it's amazing.
Just said you're 31. Another email in from Naomi Clark says, what kept you motivated to achieve success in music? 31's quite late, isn't it? You made it a couple of years ago, but, you know, what's kept you going?
I think I've always been a bit, you know, a little bit eccentric, and I don't know. I just thought that I just find a job that I could do, and you know, that suited me. And I think I was always supposed to do it. I think it was just something I was always supposed to do, and I had to just keep going until it happened, you know.
So how did this all come about? You've obviously loved singing for a number of years, but how did you get discovered, and sort of quite later on in life?
I'd always been playing for years and years and years, you know, say for open mics and various bands, and had various kind of musical adventures. But really, I mean, my producer, Steve Brown, who's an award-winning musical composer, he wrote the musical Spend, Spend, Spend with Barbara Dixon on the West End, and he does TV, he actually does Lee Mack's Not Going Out, he does all the jingles, he does Harry Hill's TV burp, he's a TV and theatre producer and composer, but he'd never made an album before. And he happened to be at a show I was performing at, and he said, would you like to come to my studio? And we were quite an unlikely pairing.
Completely, yeah.
But we've become really good friends, and he's a real true English gent. I call him the British Stephen Sondheim.
So you really took him up on an opportunity of getting in the studio and recording, because it could have been quite scary. Somebody had come up to you and said, oh, I do TV jingles. You think, oh, it's slightly different to where I want to be. But obviously by the album, you can tell that it was a match made in heaven musically.
It was, and by that point, I'd been in and out of so many studios with so many strange people that I was just like, you do jingles? Great. Well, you know,
Good
why
to go.
Now, your name, is not your Rumer's not your
Yeah.
real name.
That's
It's usually hip hop artists who change their name. You could have been Dizzy Rumer or something like that. But you changed your name. Why did you choose to do that?
Well, my name's Sarah, but I changed it to Rumer because I just thought it would be. I just wanted to have a glamorous, mysterious stage name that had mystery and intrigue, you know. And it just so happened that Rumer was the name of one of my mother's favourite authors, Rumer Godden, who's a British author who was born in India. My mother was a fan of her work, and when she died, when my mother died, she left me a list of books to read, and one of Rumer Godden's books was on the list. So I don't know how. Well, it's a long story how it happened, but I just took it on as a name, and it seemed to fit me. It actually means gypsy. So
how long have you had the name for then?
Since about 2003.
2003.
You're speaking about your mum there, and you've been quite open and honest that maybe your childhood didn't always run smoothly, and that there were sort of issues with your dad, and obviously losing your mum also, and that has played quite a significant part in the music that you now make. Do you think that has kind of spurred you on to go out there and have your music heard?
I think so. I think when you lose someone close to you, it triggers off a lot of feelings, and grief is quite a strange thing. If anyone has gone through it, they know there are processes and stages to grief, and there's anger, there's bewilderment, there's pain and anguish and loss, and you sort of start thinking, what is life and where do we go when we die? And you start having these thoughts as well. And I think a lot of that is documented on the album in a very simple way, and I think it's important to talk about that sort of stuff, really, because it happens to everybody. It happens to, a lot of people.
I think people will relate to it because, unfortunately, people do have things happen in their life that they sometimes turn to music. You said you turned to books and you look for kind of a bit of an outlet.
Yes, absolutely. So I think there's, a lot of blossoming around, there was a lot of blossoming around that pain, I suppose, and a lot of that's on the album.
Well, listen, let's have a look at the single. This is called I Am Forgiven. Great stuff. Beautiful, that. And I had the album on last night. I must admit, it was the first time I listened to it beginning to end. It's just beautiful music.
Was you humming away?
I didn't know the tunes as yet. Today I'll
I'll be
along.
humming away.
I'll be doing good diction.
Do you enjoy the video part and the kind of the other world that comes with being a musician or a pop star, that getting dressed up and making pop videos?
What about the
Depends
awards?
on the weather.
And the awards,
What are you nominated for a Brit?
2 Brits.
Two
Yes,
Brits.
that's right,
What
yes.
categories?
Best female solo artist and best breakthrough. So that should be interesting.
Are you going to win?
I don't know. I'm new to this game. So.
And are you going to the night? You're going to be
definitely.
there. You've got your dress ready.
We'll be doing that. I think it's
Is it voted for by... I can't remember the Brits. Is it voted for a panel?
breakthrough one is.
Yes.
The breakthrough
all
is voted by the public. So if anyone in the public, and I shouldn't really say this because it's like, please vote for me. But you're very
You've got to do this. That's what people do
the
on
breakthrough
TV.
award is voted for by the public.
As soon as someone does that, you go, I'm not voting for you. Sorry.
You can go to the Brits website and vote for me for breakthrough if you like. The other one is voted for by the panel, but the public can vote for breakthrough. There's lots of other people on there who are much more, well known, so I could do with
But the
the help.
Brits isn't always about that. I think the Brits do sometimes go for people that they see as coming through in future years. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Really good luck.
Thank you.
Cool. Rumer will be staying with us to do some cooking, so there's still time to get your questions in for her and Jimmy Doherty. Of course, tweet us at SFTW or email us via our website, bbc.co.uk/something for the weekend.
Touch your rocket
Good.
on the side,
ideas. Well, maybe
drizzle
you
with
can
some
help
olive oil. Go for it. Rumer, Lou, Tim, tuck in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go for it.
Whilst we're doing that, what are we making for dessert?
Dessert, we're doing a semolina pud with
I
pomegranates.
do like semolina.
Yeah, I
It
love
reminds me
it.
of school.
You're going to love that. Fresh tomatoey, the
lovely.
goat cheese is quite mild.
Simon, that's my
Nice.
favourite thing you've ever made on this show.
My work here is done. The fresh tomatoes just really help.
Gorgeous.
You know,
So I can't tell you how lovely it is. I don't want to talk. I want just to eat.
But that tastes
Anyway, I'll put my fork down and finish that in a minute. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
OK, go to our website, bbc.co.uk/something for the weekend to find all of today's recipes. Now for a look at the new series of Madagascar, which explores one of the most intriguing places on Earth with some of the most amazing creatures.
But now Rumer is in the kitchen with us. How's your cooking, Rumer?
Well, I haven't done any cooking for a little while. I've been quite busy.
But yeah,
I used to be a chef's assistant.
Before you were successful.
Yes, I did. I used to work in a kitchen. I was
Did you?
I was doing prep. I did a lot of prep for a chef, so I was basically the one that followed him around and did his washing up. I'm the assistant.
It's a great role. I love that.
Pot wash.
Brilliant.
What other jobs did you do whilst you were waiting to be a
loads.
rock and roll star?
Well, a lot of that. A lot of KPing. A lot of was chef's assistant. I did housekeeping. I sold advertising space. I was a unqualified drama teacher for a little while. I was, deli girl, bar girl. Anywhere that'd have me really.
I think all that makes you appreciate what's happening now then, because you've kind of done loads of ordinary jobs, if you like.
Yeah, and it's funny because after a show, people who come up to you that you don't know go, "Hi," and because you're so used to working behind a counter, people go, "Hi," and you sort of go, "Hi." Yeah, it's like, what do you want?
The olives are good today.
It is, and so actually, it's quite interesting. That's why I find it quite natural.
I'll tell you something interesting. My friend has a theory that you stay the age you become famous at, and I think that, and I think that's kind of an interesting.
Really?
Yeah, so you start thinking about a celebrity, you think what age they become famous at, and they act that age for possibly
Like
the rest of their life. Michael Jackson, maybe, pointed case, yeah, he was quite childish with his fairgrounds and stuff, and he became famous very early, so yeah. When we get famous...
Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's just slightly worrying, isn't it?
It is. Right, OK, what are we going to make, Simon?
We are making a
vanilla
pomegranate semolina pudding. So we've got some sugar, we've got a beautiful fine-grade semolina, vanilla, butter, beautiful pomegranate, love pomegranate. We've got nutmeg and we've got some cinnamon as well. So what we've got in here, we've got some milk and some cream that we are simmering, bringing just up to scalding point, as we call it, just before the boil. Rumer. So first job as my kitchen assistant.
This is a very hard job.
Well, we're going to split the vanilla pod. So what we do, these are lovely, beautiful, juicy, thick Madagascan vanilla pods. So they're quite kind of soft. So what we do, we cut both ends off, and then with the knife parallel to the board, if you can, is just run it along like that.
Oh.
Give it a go.
I'm not sure
Careful
about
your
this.
fingers.
Keep your finger. If you keep your forefinger sort of as close to the knife as you can, and then you sort of run along and it'll keep it in place for you. That's it. Brilliant.
I'm actually quite scared.
No, we do have a history of kind of people cutting themselves on this show at the moment.
Usually the presenters.
Yeah. That's good.
Ah, well done.
Oh.
It's good.
This is actually quite hard. So this is from Madagascar.
Yeah, they do the nicest vanilla pods.
But you won't get this in Tesco's then?
And juicy. Well, they kind of, there's lots of different places where you can kind of get them. I always find, if you get the choice, someone says, where would you like your vanilla pods from?
You say Madagascar.
Always. Right, now, so then we've got our lovely seeds. Now, the next job for you is basically you hold your forefinger really, really tight on the bottom there and just run the knife like that.
Smells amazing.
OK.
Lovely, thank you.
All those seeds can still stay on.
And those seeds, what happens to them?
Right, now we're going to put them into our milk cream. So now you smell that delicious vanilla smell. One of the nicest smells. Beautiful. That? OK, so there we go. That's all our seeds. Big, thick, juicy vanilla pods give lots and lots of seeds, so we get more flavour out of them. You can probably get away with half of one of those vanilla pods because there's so many seeds. That goes into our milk and our cream. Just give the vanilla a little stir through. OK, so it's
These don't smell very nice.
It's beautiful.
Well, actually,
this is a little bit bitter. They smell a little bit bitter.
But vanilla is bitter, yet we use it in desserts all the time.
That's
right?
it, yeah.
That's where it comes from, the inside.
Because I think that's why, like, vanilla with fish is really lovely, because there's a slight kind of bitterness, but then the aftertaste is lovely. OK, so this is now sort of coming up to scald. But ideally what you do is you do this on the hob, but to make it easier
It's the same as chocolate. We think sweet, but it's not really, is it? It's bitter.
No, originally it was a savoury ingredient.
It's bitter.
Now, Rumer, all we do is we chuck in all of that sugar, all of that butter, all of that semolina, and just whisk it.
OK.
OK. So the semolina cooks quite quickly. And, you know, if you ever had it at school, then it was always kind of a little bit overcooked, a little bit gloopy. I quite like that. I think that's part of the quality of it. Then you can whisk it quite fast, so the butter starts to melt with all that sugar in there.
Is this a good part of having being a successful artist?
Well,
Coming on
it's
shows
not
like
easy.
this and-
Actually, this is actually quite hard.
But the nice thing is, it's really instant results, isn't it, semolina? You know what I mean? As it starts to thicken, then you're done. That's beautiful. OK, so I'll just whip that off you quickly. And then what you do, as I say, you would have this on the heat on the stove, and then the heat will cook it out. So I'm just going to crank up the heat and let it go. You know, the Karen Carpenter comparisons all the time. Would you ever sing a Karen Carpenter song in a concert or not?
I did a charity show for the Red Cross and I called it Jambalaya on the Bayou. And we had a fantastic local restaurateur come in and make a big giant jambalaya. And we had Bam Bash and we had stuff. And I did sing Jambalaya on the Bayou, which is...
I'd like to hear you sing Yesterday once more, because it's my mum's favourite. I think that's, you know, when...
Shooby-doo-lang-lang.
That's the one. So you don't know that song, do you, Tim?
Do you know, I met the lyricist, actually,
I
John
might do.
Bettis.
Sing a bit more of it.
Well, no, I better not. But I met the lyricist, actually, who wrote that song.
Give us a verse and a chorus.
I can't, I won't. I won't.
I'll hum
I'm
along.
setting myself up for failure.
I'll sing along with you.
No.
OK, so we whisk this, and this starts to thicken. A little bit more than that is, but you get the idea that very quickly it starts to thicken up. All right, then, what we do, come back over to you, Rumer, and then just chuck in all of the pomegranate, give that a whisk, and then we tip it into our buttered and sugared dish. So again, we've got more sweetness, and you'll get a crispy outside in it, which is lovely. That can all just get poured in.
Now?
Yeah. And then we're going to bake it. Now, if you want, you can keep cooking out the semolina. See how it's thickening very, very quickly. You can just cook it out until it's thickening. You can just serve it like that. But I really like to bake semolina pud. So then what we've got our nutmeg and we've got our cinnamon. We combine those two things, and then all you need to do next...
I'll put that in there.
Yeah, I'll move that the way for you. Is just sprinkle the combination of those, just bet with your hands right across the top, so we get that lovely, delicious topping on it. Nice. And you know that's going to be nice. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cream, sugar, vanilla, semolina. And then we bake that 15, 20 minutes until it gets this lovely crust on top and becomes thick and gloopy. That's beautiful.
Lovely.
Perfect, OK? So that goes in. And then what happens is it sets, it thickens, and the smell of it is lovely.
Ooh.
So it's almost set like a custard. See, when it comes out, you've got that lovely wobble on it.
Yeah.
OK? And then what we do to serve, a great big dollop of this.
Smells good, that, doesn't it?
Lovely. The cinnamon and the nutmeg are lovely. Onto there. And then...
Louise, speeding over there.
To rich it up even further,
From the sofa.
some clotted cream, some more pomegranates, and for a little bit of delicious extra flavour, some rose water just on the top.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, go for it.
Louise.
Oh, no, I can't. That would be so rude of me.
Give it a go.
Come on.
Great. Pomegranates are really trendy now, aren't they? You see them on everything.
Thank you.
And they're really good for you.
Yeah, you see them in salads now, don't you?
Yeah,
and
loads
stuff?
of things, and they've always been
lovely.
used in kind of dyeing clothes. And it's rumoured. There's always a theory that Eve actually ate a pomegranate, not an apple. That's
Oh,
the old.
really?
Yeah,
That's
apparently.
what turned her. You know, when you think of that at school, that's a world apart, isn't it?
Completely.
I quite like the school
Yeah, I
one
like
as
the
well.
school
Yeah. Because you've got cream and butter in that, you get that.
Rose water is the supple
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
All right,
Nice.
coming up, buttering up
Mm-hmm.
biscuits and fried chicken, but now for another deja vu. Clip from a classic from the very first episode of Upstairs, Downstairs, when a young Pauline Collins meets the lady of the house for a job as the kitchen maid. So can you guess the year this was first on our screens? Dave, we've had loads of tweets in here, and this tweet comes from Keris Davis. Will you be touring soon, Rumer?
Yes, I will. I'll be doing a tour in March, UK tour.
In March. But you were telling me just a minute ago about you doing a random pick a
Yes,
venue out of a
I
hat.
am.
How does that work?
Well, because this lady's from Wales, and I think a lot of Welsh people have been saying, "Oh, you're not coming to Wales. What a shame." So, on Facebook, I said, "Well, make some suggestions of venues you'd like me to come to, be it or village halls or old pubs or whatever, or your front room." And I had about 500 suggestions, which were really funny. And so we put them into a hat. We put them in on strips and put them into a hat. I'm just waiting to do my draw, my off the beaten track gig.
When are you
So
going to do it?
It could be anywhere. So it could be North Wales. I know. I've been trying to find the right time and place to do my draw, but I
been
didn't.
here.
It
It
could have
should
been.
have
It
been
could have
here.
been, but I didn't bring the box. I didn't bring the
That
box.
would be lovely to watch you in just a nice country pub somewhere.
It could be anywhere.
How is that, Jimmy?
Oh, amazing. The coating on the chicken, brilliant.
Again, it's just a simple one. We've soaked the chicken in buttermilk, then you've got egg flour, breadcrumbs, deep fried.
You'd love this.
Talking about music, Nikki, 21, says this is obviously a tweet. Which bands will be performing at your farm this year? You have a festival, don't you?
Yeah, we have a festival called Harvest at Jimmy's, and it's a real mix of food and music. And we have people like Katie Tunstall, Newton Faulkner, Harry Bikers, the big chefs. And also, it's like a villagey fake kind of thing. I can't tell you who's coming at the moment. It's a big secret. I would love to.
Because you haven't booked any.
No. We have. But if she looks at the website...
Put Rumer's name in the hat.
She's there. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be on to you, trying to book you in a minute anyway.
The thing is, though, Jim, the cheeky girls, they won't mind that you reveal that they're coming, mate, you know.
We share the room.
And this is another email we've had in from Kerry Webster. Actually, no, it wasn't that one I was going to read. Hold on. Bear with me.
Yeah.
Bear with me.
Oh, poor Kerry.
Shall I do Kerry's?
You know, my other favourite thing that you did on Food Factory was the chewing gum. That looked amazing.
And the interesting about that, the actual chewing gum producers said you'd never do it on a small scale. You wouldn't be able to do it without their kit. And we did. We Heath Robinsed it all together. A few pots and pans. But the amazing is the amount of plastics that go into it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it doesn't dissolve.
It was incredible.
I've got it. Even though Kerry Webster's was fantastic. Sorry, Kerry. Craig Harrison's was. I'd like to buy a house pig. Are there any particular breeds that you can recommend? Are they any good pigs for houses?
You can house train pigs. I've seen it. I used to every now and then, if there was an orphan piglet, I'd rear it and have it in the house, all that kind of stuff. But I don't recommend them for inside the house. If you're going to keep pigs, keep them outside. Keep them two together, nice and happy.
There's a micro pig.
Yeah, all the micro pig kind of thing. I just go and get a lovely old traditional breeder pig. They look beautiful, and afterwards, make them sausages.
How on earth are you going to be able to do that? Buy a pig, stick in the back garden, then a few months later think that.
You're not supposed to name them, are you?
I'll eat it.
I do occasionally, but yeah, only the breeding pigs.
All right, that's it for this week. Many thanks to Rumer and Jimmy for being with us. Next week, we'll be joined by JLS and funny man Paddy McGuinness. So make sure you enjoy your Sunday. Simon, make sure you keep your phone on.
And you, Tim, and you.
Come on, Chelsea.
Come on, Liverpool.
It always goes back to football.
Always.